What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to yet another episode of The Drop. And this week we have a lot of good games coming out, just not games that I really feel one way or the other about. They're just kind of there, you know? So without further ado, you guys still need to know about this, so let's jump into it. Kicking things off this week, we have Night in the Woods coming to the PlayStation 4 and the PC. College dropout Mae Borowski returns home to the crumbling former minor town of Possum Springs, seeking to resume her aimless former life and reconnect with the friends she left behind. But things aren't the same. Home seems different now, and her friends have grown and changed. Leaves are falling and the wind is growing colder. Strange things are happening as the light fades, and there's something in the woods. Now, a couple of things about this game that I noticed from just checking out the gameplay. It mixes some platformer mechanics with some heavy adventure game mechanics. So if you're looking for something that is really heavily dependent on the gameplay, and that's where the game really shines, this is not the game for you. However, the story does seem to be very significant and very in-depth, and that is definitely something that is interesting. However, I will say it's not something that's going to be tickling my fancy right now, but it might be something I pick up in a Humble Bundle or in a sale somewhere down the line. So if it sounds like something you might be interested in, like an adventure style, really in-depth story kind of game, then you might want to check out what's going on in Possum Springs this week in Night in the Woods, coming to the PlayStation 4 or the PC. Moving right along to our next title, Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin is coming to the PlayStation 4 via the PlayStation VR exclusively, meaning that if you do not have the PlayStation VR headset, you cannot play this title on your PlayStation 4. Cannot make that clear enough. That would be a huge disappointment. That being said, Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin is an all-new VR adventure that takes players back into the mysterious and paranormal world of the Psychonauts for the first time in over 10 years. Once again, players will assume the role of Raz, an intrepid young psychic and now fully fledged member of the Psychonauts, an elite group of international psychic secret agents. The story picks up exactly where it left off at the end of Psychonauts in 2005, with Raz, Lily, Sasha, Mila, and Coach Oleander flying off to rescue Truman Zanato. Wow, these names. The grand head of the Psychonauts. Never played this game all the way through. Their mission takes them straight into the heart of the Rhombus of Ruin, a mysterious part of the ocean as deadly as two Bermuda Triangles back to back. When the rescue party itself is kidnapped and held prisoner in the Rhombus, Raz is immobilized and must use only his psychic powers to reunite his friends, reveal the identity of the mysterious kidnapper, and free Truman before the madness of the Rhombus consumes all of their minds. What's really cool about this VR title is that it is written by Tim Schafer. It also has the same voice actors and same composer as the original Psychonauts did back in the day, and as the next Psychonauts, Psychonauts 2, which is coming out in 2018, is going to have as well. So it pretty much maintains a good level of quality that Psychonauts fans expect after the major success of the first game. Now, like I mentioned, this is pretty much just a little teaser for what is coming in 2018 with Psychonauts 2, but fans of the PlayStation VR and users of the PlayStation VR are definitely going to be welcoming to Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin, because it is one of those big VR titles that was really heavily pushed whenever the PlayStation VR was first building up that press support, so even I'm excited to see at least how it's received whenever it comes out this week, even though I am not an owner or an adopter of a PlayStation VR. Wrapping things up this week, we have Halo Wars 2 coming out on the Xbox One and the PC. After decades adrift and declared lost with all hands, the brave crew of the UNSC Spirit of Fire are mysteriously awoken above an ancient Forerunner haven known as the Ark. In Halo Wars 2, Captain Cutter and his crew will face one of humanity's most formidable threats yet, the Banished, a fierce and powerful brood faction led by a cunning and lethal warrior known as Atriox. Halo Wars 2 delivers real-time strategy at the speed of Halo combat. Get ready to lead armies of Spartans and other Halo fighting forces like Warthogs, Scorpions, and exciting new units in a brutal war against a terrifying new enemy on the biggest Halo battlefield yet. But let's get real here, that map doesn't have shit on Blood Gulch. Now, one thing worth mentioning here is that if you see the name Halo and you automatically think an incredible sci-fi shooter adventure centered around Master Chief and Cortana going on some kind of grand adventure with the UNSC, that is not what you're getting whatsoever, necessarily in the standard kind of sense that you would expect from a Halo game, because like I said in the description, this is a RTS game, a real-time strategy game set in the world and universe of Halo. When the original Halo Wars came out back in 2007, a lot of people either liked it or they hated it. That seemed to be what I was getting from it, especially from my friend group back in high school, because some people were really wanting it to maintain its fidelity as a leading FPS title, and then some people were excited to see it kind of branching out and trying some new things. I happen to be in the boat that liked the branching out, that liked the trying of the RTS and whatnot, because of the nature of the universe of Halo itself, because you have the Warthogs, you have the Spartans, you have different classes and different ranks as far as enemies and friendlies. You can just try a lot of different things whenever you're trying real-time strategy, and it just seemed to fit with what was going on in Halo for me. Now, it is worth mentioning that whenever whenever I was playing the beta, it probably took me 3 or 4 matches to really get into the groove of what was going on with Halo Wars 2 and really learn the mechanics of the game, but once I did, it all clicked pretty well, and I was pretty happy with the experience that I got. Now that being said, a lot of stuff has probably changed between the beta and the full release of the game, so that's definitely worth mentioning, but I will say there are a lot of new additions to Halo Wars 2 that put it a step above the original Halo Wars, such as a more filled out campaign that isn't so shallow whenever you were looking back at the original Halo Wars, and then you also have a new Blitz mode, which incorporates some card-based strategy for fans of that kind of thing, so it's definitely branching out to a lot of different audiences with both the Halo audience and the RTS audience, and now incorporating a card-based strategy audience. They're definitely casting a wide net with Halo Wars 2, which is definitely admirable. Also, early rumors have said that the game is running a lot better on the PC. That's definitely worth mentioning if you are trying to deliberate between getting it on the Xbox One or the PC. But like I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to buy it on Xbox digitally, you can also have it on the PC. It just depends on what your setup currently entails. Though remember, that PC version is seeming to be a step above. Wrapping things up with a couple of honorable mentions here, we have Warhammer Quest coming to the Xbox One, which is actually based off of the Warhammer tabletop game. So that's definitely something to check out if you are into that kind of thing. And then Berserk and the Band of the Hawk is coming to the PlayStation 4, the PC, and the Vita. Apparently this is some kind of anime. I was going to incorporate it into the full version of the drop because there was a lot of write-up, there was a lot of stuff going on about it. Just not my thing. I can act like I know all about it. I don't. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you're a fan of Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, or Berserk if it's just an anime thing, it's coming out on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Vita. Definitely check out some gameplay before that one though, because it could be a little shifty. So there you guys have it. I hope you have enjoyed this edition of The Drop. If you did, drop me a like down below, and then let me know what new games are coming out this week that you are looking forward to. And if you happen to be new to the channel, I do upload new videos throughout the week, so there's always something new right here on the channel when you drop by to watch some videos. But as for right now, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this particular episode of The Drop. I will talk to you soon. Peace.